Assalamu alaikum. It's Mama Layla, aka Yasmina Aden, Seattle, Washington. السلام عليكم. وجهت وجهي للذي فطر السماوات والأرض حنيفا وما أنا من المشركين. الحمد لله. Good news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Katie Wilson is leading the mayorship of Seattle. Just came out 18 hours ago, and I'm just finding out today is Tuesday, 11/11. And it is about to be 11:11 a.m. It's just 11:10 a.m. right now. In a minute, it will be 11:11. Just remember this. So let me get excited just a little bit. Excuse me. Katie Wilson. Okay, I don't find out to politician, but let me tell you why I am now I have a little bit hope for Seattle because Mr. Harold, I apologize not to him, but to myself for not making video earlier to call Somalis and all Africans because Africans are becoming like a really, really brainwashed in Seattle, Washington. You do not vote someone because he's black. No, you vote someone because of his power. I told you already, I don't vote. I stopped voting after Obama. Okay, I did vote. However, I did vote locally past few years, but I also stopped voting locally because I realized now we are completely dominated by the oligarchy, corporations, big money interests, and all of these corrupt CIA agents who are with all different type of faces. They come with black faces. They come with hijabis sometimes. A woman, black Muslim with hijab. I cannot emphasize how much I try to tell people, don't vote people for the visibility because that's why they put you spells. You are under spell. You were told to vote someone because of their color, the skin of their color. You are not seeing anything. You are not looking their policy and what they stand for. These people are not for your interest, not for the interest of your children. They don't give a F about you. Okay, let me tell you about Katie Wilson. I would be lying to tell you that I know her personally, but I know this woman used to go on the Pike Market with her guitar and she used to play music and bring advocacy, awareness to the social issue right here in Seattle, Washington for the working class. Okay, this woman has been active. She cares about Seattle. She cares about the working class Seattle. She cares about the rent people who are homeless. She cares about the people who don't have any voices. I know this because I have been paying attention to her policies and been seeing. I was friend with her on Twitter. Now I can't have access to my Twitter because I'm such an anti-Zionist. I'm so anti-Zionist. They deny my access to my own account. So now I can't have access to my account, which I had all of my advocacy on Twitter because Twitter is where you need to go if you really want to involve in politics. But anyway, Katie Wilson is a better option than Harold because Harold is corrupt. He's corrupt. Bruce Harold, not only corrupt, but he's the Mr. Organized Crime. Okay, Seattle has significance because it's the hometown of corporations such as Microsoft, Amazon, huge Zionist power abusing entities are home. They call Seattle their home. And we also have agents of these corporations who are also politicians. In many cases, they are part of your city councils. They are part of the mayor, in this case, Bruce Harold. I'm not going to name other names, but they are part of the Seattle elite politicians, establishment, Democrats, mainly Democrats. There are some Republicans because if you don't know me, my name is Yasmina Aden. I was targeted after I campaigned and we passed a legislature, state of Nevada, that protected trans identified individuals not to be discriminated. And the governor at the time was Republican, Governor Sandoval. Google me, Yasmina added. Governor Sandoval signed it into the law in 2014 after we campaigned, and I was in the front row that fight. I am so proud to say that I have participated in a very major life-changing policy that protected a lot of trans and queer individuals because it wasn't part of the Constitution to protect them not to be discriminated. I had, at the time, before that legislation, I had a very well-paying corporate job, and I believe I lost my job due to my gender identity. As a queer, trans, Muslim, Somali, Black person, Seattle has always been significant for me because Seattle is where I called home. When my family and we migrated to the U.S., it was Seattle who opened its door, the city of Seattle that opened its door. And this was our first stop, Kirkland, to be exact, Juanita Kirkland, okay? Fast forward, I went on and I get my degree from Ohio State University. I transitioned in Las Vegas, Nevada. I lived in Nevada for many years. I made my mark, my political career started in Vegas because I have seen why it is very critical for us to be paying attention to the policy, especially local policies, and how they impact our daily life. And I was I can't say I was involved fully until I had a time, and they fired me that time. And I participated and I, joined the fight with a fantastic group of people from PLAN, which stands for Progressive Leadership Alliances of Nevada. And also other groups. HRC, I'm not very big fan of them because these are the deep staters of the LGBT, because most people don't understand how deep state and the CIA and Zionists are very much so in control, which is a big money, big corporation, corruption, racist as fuck, but pretend to be liberal and extremely Zionist. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. You can tell the way I tell the truth straight out and I don't cover it up. I became honestly target, and the intelligence agency now has a beef with me and the military because when the Zionists come after you, honey, they use all the power they have, okay? So I've been tortured, microchipped, hooked to AI. But why? Let me get back to my point. Why Seattle has significance fighting this type of organized hate crime, corruption, because I believe this is where America is headed, unfortunately. Politically, they want to create class war, but they want to create what they call covert control mechanism. They use AI control mechanism, and they mobilize entire community in the form of counterintelligence program. Those of you who are Black, who are activists, they know what COINTELPRO stands for. COINTELPRO is an FBI criminal, let me repeat that, criminal program that tortures, that kills, that neutralize, and that incriminate activists and people who are politically and socially aware. So they call them communists, they call them, they label them, and they smear campaign them. For instance, they would call someone, that person is pedophile, that person has murdered someone, and we need to investigate that person. And guess what? There are federal judges. Let me rephrase. Let me put that in quote unquote. Zionists, corrupted, extremely dangerous federal judges will sign these subpoenas or these to investigate. Legally, they get these to investigate on a person who done absolutely nothing simply because of their gender or They hate them because of what they're advocating for, because these guys are criminal. Literally, FBI is criminal, okay? And I can say that because they are torturing me now. It's not only them. City of Seattle and the police are involved in my case. But it started with the federal, because when we passed that legislation, conservative came after me. And I realized how they actually use the Black community through the churches, and also and can mobilize entire Black or any other communities to harass the person and hyper surveil, in my case, since they microchip me, not only surveil me physically, but they neurologically surveilled me. So I realized Amazon is part of this organized hate crime. Microsoft is part of this, because what they want to they want to create class of people where they are categorize these people as a threat to the national security, but they are not actually a threat. This is money-making programs. Like, remember that, what is the name of that CIA, Palantir technology, something like that, that completely violates human civil liberties and incriminates someone based on their activism or their gender or whoever have a beef with that person, and they are part of this mafiosos, elitist group of cabal, deep state, in my case, Zionists, basically, in my case. So they can torture somebody and they turn their life in a living hell. And they driven me homelessness the first time. And when I moved to Seattle, I have really, really worked really hard to get back on my feet and tried. When I understood what I was faced with, I was up against a very powerful, organized hate crime, corrupted elitist in Seattle. And they used it. They used at the time, the chief of Seattle PD was a Black woman. She was part of this cabal. Thank God they got rid of her after Black Lives Matter, because she was so corrupt. But they still have, some of them are on the top of the Seattle PD. For instance, there's this white, half Hispanic. I don't know what's her race, but she gives the white. And white means absolutely nothing when I say this, just to describe her. Her name is Diane. She's a chief assistant. She's part of this organized hate crime too. And they are cabal. They are part of this. And I tell you all this to tell you, Seattle is significant because Seattle is the tech giant. It's very unethical programs conducted. The city that actually conduct these programs. City that is the epitome, the grounds, the headquarter of these programs. So why Seattle social awareness of these organized hate crime and corruption in a local politicians is very, very important to me, because I see where we headed. They want to create smart cities. Everything is a digitalized world where your access, your movement, everything will be controlled. They can deny you everything if they want to by just clicking a button, okay? If the movement of people now realize either I'm going to be part of the criminal organized crime and conduct this criminal activity, which is in my faith in Islam is completely haram, and you will be punished forever when hereafter when you go your judgment day, or I'm going to become a target and I'm going to get tortured and going to deny access opportunities, and which is horrible also. But in my case, I choose the latter because now I can fight, and I can fight and die for something I believe is the right thing. If they kill me, that's what I mean, die. I'm not violent. Okay. Just to clarify. So they torture me. They turn into my apartment in Capitol Hill a torture chamber. They radiate the hell out of me because the military is involved. By the way, today is the Veteran Day, okay? And it seems like I was smeared horribly, and the veterans believe I'm some sort of the enemy of the state, but I'm not your enemy. Your enemy is the guy who's actually have you handicapped, but deny you all the things that they promised you when they recruited you for to fight the oligarchy wars. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going to get into that. But happy Veterans Day for all the veterans. I have nothing against you. You had a good intention to serve your country, and you did, and thank you. But anyway, my point here is why Katie Wilson is better option. This man, he pretends to be a black man. I don't see a black man. You know what I see? I see a corrupted, politically career opportunist who actually was part of torturing Yasmina Aden, a queer black Muslim female in Seattle, Washington. A person who is part of the deep state, a person who is part of this whole organized crime, an ethical tech giant, which is part of the military, by the way. If Americans do not wake up now, it will be very late pretty soon. And we don't have much time, by the way. They want you fighting among each other. White versus black, Hispanics versus whatever. Oh, they put you in so many different categories at this point. It's so ridiculous. But anyway, I am so happy the young people are waking up and seeing this thing and say enough is enough. Gen Z, bravo, 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 bravo. Because we are all one. By the way, I don't hate America. In fact, I love this country. It's the country that gave me the freedom to be who I am. But they will tell you that, and you will believe, because I'm somebody who was born outside of the country and come with slightly have some accent, you know. And a lot of people are pretty much, you know, they're not bad individuals, you know, necessarily, but they are very much so programmed. So I am not upset, and I don't take that personal when people participate organized crime against me to destroy my life. But you know what I want to tell you? You are participating the same thing that would eventually turn on you and would destroy you, because this is, make no mistake, it's a class war. And if you vote for Katie Wilson, good on you, because now you put your foot down and you said, I'm not going to allow these motherfucking, excuse my language, blip, I should say, mofos, oligarchy, to control us and to divide us, then have us fight among each other. And I need something better, because I deserve better, because you do, you really do. We all do, okay? So my point here is, Katie Wilson is the beginning. Socialist progressive movement must be the new fight against the oligarchy, because we are headed into the AI future era where technology will be rampant. You know, it's changing by the day. It's so fast now. It's so fast now. And we headed towards the digitalized world. So we headed towards the enslavement and oppression that is so covert. You can't even tell you are oppressed, and you'll be still happy, but you are completely being oppressed. So kudos on you if you voted for the Katie Wilson. And if you vote for this man, Bruce Harrell, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Seriously, I want to know what's wrong with you, especially if you are a black person. He's not paying your bill, and you're going to end up homeless, especially if you are working class, okay? And by the way, my advice to a young black man is you need to wake up, because you know the system has always been against you. Do not listen to the system when they tell you hate the immigrants or hate somebody else, because you are an American and you need to torture somebody because this person comes here to take your opportunity. That's a full-blown bull crap. And you know it's a full-blown bull crap because it's coming from the oligarchy, okay? The same people who would not give a F about you, and they would actually import techies from India or from across the world to, you know, to work in their giant tech corporations. If you go to these spaces, you don't see yourself in these spaces because they don't like you. They don't want you to be part of that. But at the same time, they want to use you when you are useful. So please don't be useful, idiot. And I love you, by the way. I'm not against the black men because black men are my father, rest in peace, was a black man. My brothers are black men. My nephews are black men, will be black men. But anyway, yeah, Katie Wilson is the good choice for Seattle, and thank you.